After discussing ribbon chart in our first session, now we have to show, or we have to learn another thing. Not this, not this. Uh, yeah. So another question is sales or profit or number of orders or number of customers. Okay. So next chapter is, this is session 2 of our today's class. How to show number of orders and number of customers. So first thing that we will do is we will display in the card visual. This is our card visual, and now you guys will tell me how to show total number of customers and total number of orders that we have based on the data set. I think you all have worked on this data. So first question, how to show total number of orders? How to show total? Yeah.
Count.
What I have to do from here? Like, this is data pane. Tell me step by step.
Want to select the order column and
Or
just drag
we have order ID, right?
yeah.
So we will drag order ID to fields, but it is showing this. So now we will show count. Is this correct? This is my question to all of you. Is this correct?
Sir, why don't we look for the, do you want the numbers or you want to show the chart?
I don't want to show chart or anything right now. We will show chart. But the thing is, before that, I want to show the correct number of orders and number of customers. This is a basic exercise. I can tell it in 2 minutes, but I want you guys to participate. Like, is this the correct number of orders? Neha, is this the correct number of orders? This is a question to you, all of you guys.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So count.
This is the total number of orders.
When we not by customer, we are talking about orders right now.
Yes.
So if we see order ID, don't you see repetition in order ID? Just look at it closely.
No, because we selected order ID in the field. Like if we see the order count, like order number.
See, this particular table, okay, has 9,994 rows, okay. Don't you think these are order instances? Suppose you go to a mart or some kind of superstore, and you have ordered, let's say you ordered 5 items. So what this data is going to store is 5 rows of that order. Okay.
Because it is unique column, so
Yeah, duplicates are also there, right? So that's why this is wrong answer. If you say how many rows are there, this is correct answer. Or how many order instances are there. So that's why we have count distinct. So just remember this. So this is, see, the chapter's purpose is to make you understand the use of count and count distinct. Okay. So we have written count and count distinct. So 5009 is the count of order ID. Okay. Now is it clear to you? These are the distinct number of orders, and then we can go to this visual title and we can say count of orders. Neha, is it clear now? So
Yes, sir. Clear.
look closely at your data set and see if that particular ID is being repeated or not. For example, in rows, I'm showing you the same thing in row. Okay, when we go with row ID, either we do count or count distinct. It is going to be same. Why? Why is it
Because the
showing?
number of records. Because the number of records.
Yeah, because it is distinct for each row, right? So whether you do distinct or not, it is not. So this way, let's say we want to show count of orders. Now I think it will be clear to you how to show count of customers, right? So a customer ID is given. So if you will add customer, what happens is if the data type is a string value, for example, customer ID is a string value. What is a string value? String value is where you have mix of numbers and alphabets or just alphabets. We have alphabet, number, so we have like this. So instead of first, if we will select count, here also it will show 9994. So when you will do count, whether it's a categorical field, whether it's a whatever field, in count it will always show you n number of fields based on your data set. But when you will do count distinct, so we have count of orders. Okay, so this is very important for us, that these are the count of orders and these are the number of distinct orders. Okay, so now if you have to find
Sorry, sir.
yeah,
If the column is in text form, like string form, right? Like the customer IDs.
yes,
Can we perform this distinct and count? Like, can we do that? Like count distinct and count total?
obviously these are strings, right? These are strings.
Right. You're right. Thank
Okay,
you.
and now let's say someone asks you what is the average number of orders per customer. So now you have the calculation, right? Like you can just divide this by this. Like 793 customers have given 5009 orders. So we can divide, right? Like 5009 divided by 70. So this is something that you can do with DAX. Now today's discussion is something different, so we are not going with DAX. So this is important thing, how to do count distinct, right? Now this is just a simple introduction for Shahadat and Mohan. See, in Power BI there is this modeling tab. Okay, so how to create a measure? Shahadat, you can write it down, right? How to create a measure. First of all, what is a measure? A measure is a calculation or calculated value written or created with the help of DAX. Okay, what is DAX? DAX is data analysis expressions. And in DAX there are many functions which we will study later, but so in DAX there are many functions. So to create a DAX, we are just understanding how to create a DAX. Go to modeling tab and create a measure. Okay, so go to modeling tab and create a measure. So you will find that. So you go to modeling tab, new measure, but make sure in which table are you creating the measure. So let's say we have selected orders table. So then we will create a new measure in the orders table. If you want to create in people or returns table, you can do like that. Right? So this is how this expression looks. If we write count rows, okay, so a simple function that we are studying today is count rows function. So what do you understand from count rows? Simple, it counts how many rows are there, right? Isn't it? So of what element will you count rows? So when you will write count rows, it says
The table.
yeah, it says put the name of the table of which you want to count the number of rows. So we have the name of table. What is the name of table here? Orders, right? We will just write orders, and so total order rows. That's what I am writing here. Total order rows, right? So this becomes the total. This becomes the name of our measure, okay? And count rows orders is the function. So when we do this, we just click commit, and now it will give us total order rows here. And if we simply copy this, so we will see total order rows here. So it will show 9994 automatically, right? We don't, now in a measure we don't have to select something from the drop down, right? Like for example, here we can select something from the drop down. Here we can directly calculate, okay? Suppose we have to create another measure, so we will go here, create new measure. If you write distinct count, okay, so in distinct count it is not asking you to select a table. Why? Because you cannot do something on a table. Distinct count can only be done on what? A column, right? So if we do distinct count customer ID like this, so distinct count function, so let's say unique customers, so we will write unique customers count. So the function that we have used earlier was count rows function. The function that we are using right now is distinct count. First let me write these functions, then I will explain you the difference also. First let the data correct, and here if we go with distinct count or unique count 793, here also we are getting 793, and also we are getting 793. So now we will understand the meaning of these two functions, okay? So there is count rows function and distinct count function. Today we will focus on these two DAX functions. Count rows functions, a count rows function takes a table as an argument or parameter, whatever you want to say here. That means here you have to put the table name, because it is going to count the rows of a table, okay? Distinct count function takes the name of a column, so it takes column name, okay, as it will count unique number of values in that column, okay? My question is, if I do distinct count on region, what will I get?
Only 4.
Only 4, right? Because no matter how many number of rows we have, a distinct number of regions is 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you have got the answer. So we have unique customers. How many? 793. We'll create another model. We'll create another measure. Unique order count. So what should I write? What should I do here?
Distinct count order ID.
Order ID.
Right? We just replace order ID. Yes. So instead of count of orders, I will just put this. So do you think they are now equal? Looks like equal. Now, suppose we want to see how many orders on an average one customer has given. So what will be the formula for that? Total number of orders divided by total number of customers. So first of all, we will change the title here, count of customers. How can we do that? That is a question. Like yes,
Measure.
right? Power BI visuals are giving us information, but on an average, what they have done is something we have to calculate. So we will again go here, and this is another way to create a measure. Okay, you right click on your table and click on new measure. So if we write divide, and we write, then we
Order ID.
take the name of
The column.
unique order count, right?
Yes. Yes.
So you can see when we are calling a measure, they are written inside a square bracket. Okay. If you will call a table is just written like that, right? So you have to understand that a measure name is written inside a square bracket. Then unique customers count, and then you will write 0. Okay. This is a divide function. So where you put numerator, denominator, and you write 0. We write 0 to handle the divide by 0 case. Okay. This is optional. Like suppose unique customer count is 0, so it will give us error. So let's say, so we just call it num order per customer. Okay. Click it OK, and if we just drag it, it is showing 6.32, right? Number of orders per customer. Num order per customer. So is it clear the usage of these three functions?
For a divide function,
Yes.
we only create a table which already existed, or we have to create the table like.
We did not create any table, Mohan. We created two measures. Okay. We created one measure called unique orders, which showed us that there are 5009 total number of unique orders with the help of a distinct count function. Okay. Today's exercise, see, when I asked you guys what is the number of orders, majority of you said 9994 is correct, right? Because earlier it was not clear to you that there are two different things. One is count and one is count distinct. Okay. this is something that we got, but with the help of this visual, not with the help of any calculation. Okay, so if we have to show this number, like if we have to show this number, we can show it with the help of a card, right? But suppose I ask you a simple question, what is the average number of order per customer? So for that you will need this answer in a variable somewhere, right? Yes or no? You will need this answer stored somewhere so that you can use it in further calculations. Do you agree with me or not? Right? If you have to use a number in a calculation, then that number should be stored somewhere as a field, right? So that's what we have done by creating this measure, and that's what a measure does, right? A measure helps us in creating a calculated number or finding a calculated number. That number can be used in other calculations. So with the help of distinct count, because here we just do count distinct, but what is the formula behind this? Formula behind this is distinct count. Okay, I also showed you another formula where I showed you count rows. Remember, count rows. So count rows will tell you total number of rows. Distinct count will show you total number of distinct values in that particular column, and now you have stored that. Similarly, you have also calculated distinct number of customers, and then you have calculated using divide function. So in divide function we have put those two measures, measure 1, measure 2. And how will we understand what this divide function accepts? So whenever you are writing a function, it will give you formula. Can you see the formula here? So divide function accepts first parameter or first argument as your numerator, which is this, then your denominator, which is this. So that's what we have put, an alternate result. So this is something you guys have to remember, that whenever we will use divide function, alternate result, as an alternate result we will write 0. So if any value is 0, then this will help us in preventing that divide by 0 errors. Okay, another important thing. Now my second question is, do you think these measures that are calculated are dynamic or static? Like, are these just these static values that are always going to show?
Dynamic, sir.
Right, this is how Power BI works. For example, if I take a donut chart, and in that donut chart I put regions as legend, okay, and in values I put unique orders. So now you will see that unique number of orders for each region is also different, right? 2000, 1000, 1000, 1000. Similarly, average number of orders per customer. So this is number of orders per customer. This is also going to be unique, number of order per customer. So you can see here, on an average a customer orders 2.35. 2.35 products in one order, basically, or a person gives 2.35 orders on an average. So you can see that also. So here also you have different options. So this is all dynamic data. Okay, just give me one more. So this was our second discussion, that was about distinct count and total count, right?